Carrie's Christmas wish. Little Carrie Lynch, a very cute 6.5-year-old. She stands around 3 feet tall, has long dark brown hair and brown eyes to match. She was anxious, could not wait for her daddy to come home. She talked with her mommy all day, asking if her daddy will ever be able to see her again. Her mommy told her that, "Daddy is a hard-working businessman, and I do not want you to pester him when he comes home. He needs his rest. He works a lot of hours, and he might be a little grumpy." Carrie and her mommy were working hard on a very special meal for her daddy. "I think that daddy will be surprised when he sees what we have made him. I can't wait to see his face when he sees this." David came home from work late the last 2 weeks before Christmas, tired, overworked, and very irritated. Was shocked to find his daughter sitting by the front door cross-legged. "Daddy, Mommy told me that you are a very busy businessman, that I should not bother you at this busy time. But can I ask you a question?" Carrie asked her daddy. "Well, I guess I have some time. What's your question, Peanut?" David replied as he hung up his coat and set his briefcase on the table by the door. Carrie looked up at her daddy with her big brown eyes full of love. "Daddy, how much money do you make for an hour?" David looked down to his daughter with a startled look, contemplating the question, not wanting to hurt her feelings. "Peanut, Daddy makes as much money as Santa Claus." David smiled, proud of his answer. Carrie's eyes lit up. "Wow, that must be a whole lot of money. But Daddy, I really need to know. Please tell me, how much is that an hour?" "Okay." David took in a big breath in and let it out. "Peanut, what Daddy makes is of no one's concern." Looking at Carrie, her smile starts to fade and tears start to well up in her eyes. This hits David hard. He gets down on his knees, holds his daughter's upper arms, then said, "Sweetheart, now do not tell anyone." Carrie shakes her head. "No, I won't, Daddy. I promise. I cross my heart." "Well, since you promise, Daddy makes $30 an hour," David said, looking at Carrie. "Wow, that is a whole lot of money, Daddy," Carrie said in awe. "Now you promised," David said, pulling Carrie in for a hug. "Yes, Daddy, I promise," Carrie said, giving her daddy a heart-filled hug back. Carrie smiled at her. Daddy, can I have $10? David, shocked quickly, looked back to his daughter. "What did you just ask me?" "Daddy, I just wanted to borrow $10. It's for something very important," Carrie said, almost in tears. "Ugh, what did you find a doll that you wanted, or something else just as stupid?" David yelled at Carrie, who was now in tears. "I'm sorry, Daddy. I will get the money somewhere else," Carrie said. Furious, David yelled, "Young lady, you just get yourself up to your bedroom and forget dinner. I want you to think about why you are being so selfish. I don't work hard every day to throw that money out the window." In tears and devastated, Carrie said, "But Daddy," David pointed in the direction of her bedroom. "Get there, now." With that, Carrie ran crying up to her bedroom and shut her door quietly. David walked into the dining room and sat down in his chair. His wife, Christine, came in the back door, shocked to see just David at the table. "Where's Carrie?" David, still angry, looked at his wife with a quick snap of his head. "I sent her to bed." Christine looked at him quizzical. "Why?" "She worked so hard setting the table and making this fine meal. She couldn't wait for you to see what she did for you. She was so excited." David looked at the table. "She had the gall to ask me for money? She set the table all by herself?" David started to calm down. "You said she made this meal too?" Christine put her hands on her hips. "Yes, and she was excited to see you. She couldn't stop talking about you. She wanted everything perfect for you when you got home. And if she asked for money, it must have been for something very important, or she wouldn't have asked for it." David looked at his wife. "You know, you're right. I feel like a huge idiot. I'm going up to her room and talk to her right now. She may have needed something important. Besides, she rarely asks for anything." He got up out of his chair and headed toward her bedroom, knocked on her door. "Peanut, can I come in?" he asked gingerly. "Yes, Daddy, you can come in any time," she said, still crying. She turned around and sat up and held out her arms for a hug. David came into her room, sat down and hugged his daughter. I know this is not an excuse, but it has been a long, hard day, and I didn't mean it. But I took my anger out on you. You know what? I'm going to give you that $10 that you've asked me for. No, Daddy, I'll ask someone else for it, Carrie said, wiping her tears away from her eyes. I do not want to hear another word about it. David reached into his pocket, pulled out his wallet, pulled out $10, and handed it to her. Thank you, Daddy, Carrie said, taking the money and putting it in her bank. David saw her put the money into her bank. So, what do you need the money for anyway, Pina? Oh, Daddy, you'll find out just as soon as I can get the rest of the money. I'm asking Santa for $5 more instead of toys, Carrie said with a glow in her eyes. Honey, I can give you the $5 if that's all that you need, David said with a little smile. This must be really important, he said, opening his wallet. Oh yes, Daddy, it is. It's more important than presents to me. She grabs the $5, puts the bill on her bed, takes her bank and opens it up. Out comes all these coins and a few bills and the $10, and she slowly counts out the money. Wow, Peanut. That's a lot of money that you have there. What are you going to do with it all? David asks, somewhat confused. Well, Daddy, if you need to know, I needed the $10 and the $5 to add up to $30. Now I can buy an hour of your time. Please come home early on Christmas Eve so I can have dinner with you, Carrie said, handing her daddy the money. David's heart was crushed. He wrapped his arms around his little girl and begged for her forgiveness. Peanut, you just keep all of that money. I will take Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off just for you. With that, tears well up and start to overflow down his cheeks. Thank you. I love you so much, Carrie, and I promise not to let work get in the way of our time together again. And that's a promise. Let's rush downstairs and eat that fine diner that you have made. Okay, Daddy. Carrie smiled, with a smile so big it filled her face.